What's going on? What's going on, people? We are back.
What's up, man? What's up?
Oh my goodness! It seems like it's been long overdue.
It's
been a long time.
Longest 2 weeks. What's going on?
Yes. Well, guys, you are here at the round table. I'm that guy behind the board. Gary, hey.
Man.
Yep.
Adrian Biddle, aka A Money.
Your girl Melissa here, better known as the what? Alpha female, aka
Bull in the dress.
And we have the beautiful, positive, high energy and spirited Jazzy B on our show tonight.
Okay, introduction. Oh, I love it. Hi, everybody. It feels so good to be here, y'all. It's been a long time, but I'm very excited to be here to just vibe with y'all today, okay?
Yes. All right. So, hey, what's going on, Terry Diggsby? My daughter-in-law, my beautiful daughter-in-law. What's going on? Thank you for joining us at the round table. Miss Gray, D. Gray, beautiful sister. How you doing today? Thank you for joining us at the round table. Man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm hyped right now.
Oh yeah, I know you got a race to be.
Man, hey, really. I shouldn't even share right now. I want to wait and share that because we're in the presence of my sister right here. So you know, I'm hyped about that because you know every time we get with the sister, the myth, the legend.
Come on now.
We always
Come on, that's all right.
We always have fun. I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
her family's incredible. They always show love when I get with them.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, little King as well. Me and him was playing with the toys, the cars. He's a car fiend like I am.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh man, we was having a good time. So it is amazing to have you here. You gotta talk to us about what you're doing before we get into the meat of the matter tonight.
Okay, so I have a lot going on that I'm super excited about. First of all, God is great, okay? And some would say worthy to be praised, huh? Y'all sound like the deacons in church right now? Okay, but it's real.
That's right.
God is so amazing. He has just been blessing me so much with just so many different things. So I'm doing a lot of hosting. I got a lot of hosting gigs coming up. So I'm super excited about that. I just recently did Candace Council's 30th B-Day Bash and the relaunch of her organization, Be You Be Beautiful, which is really helping women, you know, feel good in their skin. And so it's so much women power these days that I also have an event that I got booked for June 1st, honey, that's called Fishnets Matter.
Whoa.
Come on now.
Okay.
Come on, Fishnets Matter. My girl Mystique, the musical Mystique, she's actually going to be the one throwing it. There's going to be another event that's actually going to be helping women feel good. So I'm excited to be doing a lot of hosting, but I'm excited to be doing events like that that mean something.
Right.
I'm covering the Alpha Derby weekend.
That's Chocolate City.
Yes, the city of the buns and the butts, okay? These days. I'm just saying. The show, I mean, it's gonna be so amazing. I met this amazing guy, his name is Andrew Snorton. Met him at the Power of Influence Awards back in February, Super Bowl weekend. And he told me about this Alpha Derby weekend. So it's the Alphas of Atlanta. What they do is they go a Kentucky Derby themed fundraiser event. Okay. So it's a 3-day event. Friday is the pre-kickoff, was the kickoff concert, with Big Daddy Kane and Chubb Rock. Okay. And then Saturday, and also, Miguel Wilson, fashion designer who makes suits, Carrie Diggsby. I'm just telling you, he makes suits that will change your life forever, okay? He's having a fashion show where he's gonna have Lisa Nicole. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lisa Nicole from Married to Medicine. So it's gonna be a pretty big event for the fashion show. And then, like I said, after that, you got the big concert from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Then Saturday, y'all, it is my first day to be bougie. Okay? You see my pinky, honey? My pinky. When I always wanted to be a bougie girl. You know, I'm a little girl from Dinwiddie County, okay? However, what's so exciting that Saturday is gonna be the actual horse race. Okay. So you actually get to come in your bow ties, your suits. Ladies come in your dresses, your hats, the whole shebang, real glam up. There's gonna have a skyline, cigar lounge. I mean, I'm gonna be hardy and hard all night. And then a lot of people pay thousands of dollars to be in the winner circle. You know, the winner circle, if you know horse racing. I'm gonna be in there for free, y'all. For free. So I'm super excited to bring y'all the good news from that. And then next weekend, I'll be going back to Virginia. So I'm just doing a lot of traveling, y'all. Doing a lot of filming, just interviews. Silent Toe, okay, who's come out with a part 2. Amazing King. Amazing King. He's what this generation needs. Yes. So he's definitely doing more than whipping and nay-nay, okay? Right. He's doing the double thing. But y'all, I got a lot going on, so.
Yeah, we're definitely going to support that too.
Thank you.
And make sure you tag At the Roundtable so our listeners and followers can make sure they follow you.
I definitely will. And I know y'all probably like, if she don't figure out these headphone situations, you know, I got this big button, honey. Okay, so I'm over here like.
As long as you're comfortable over there.
Right. That's
what you need to do.
Yes.
Should I break it out on the list real quick? Although we haven't really never made it official, it's always been official with us. We want to make it the announcement officially announcing you as the 3rd member of this show.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Taking the prize.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she has always been a huge supporter of At the Roundtable, and a lot of times behind the scenes, and her energy is just like, I don't know, it was natural, you know, when she came on board and stuff, and people were always asking, man, how long have you had it?
That is so awesome.
You know? So yeah, so you know, it's one of the announcements we definitely want to make. Which kind of is precursor to this Friday, in which we're going to make a huge announcement in regards to Urban Times, my company, as well as the things that we are doing, and as far as her being the pitbull in the dress. Protecting the door, making things happen. She keeps us in line too. So it's a blessing to have her with us on At the Roundtable and for other endeavors as well. Right. Stay tuned. Oh man, so check this out, guys. Okay, congratulations, Terry. 17 weeks. Blessing will be here in October. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, Miss Socialite is in the queue. What's going on, Miss Socialite? How are you? Thank you for joining us tonight on At the Roundtable as well. And let's see who else. Oh man, people are popping on.
Yes. Appreciate that, fam.
Yeah.
Miss Barton, Mr. Barton, excuse me.
Dennis, 412.
Official, he said.
Hey, we didn't tell you that he was dropping knowledge today, but that'll be another topic of discussion.
He was killing it, man.
Yes.
Definitely. Terry says, congratulations, Queen.
Yes.
Thank you, Terry.
On board. All right, guys. So we're having a lot of fun. We'll get to the other stuff later because I know the topic tonight is going to be hot. And Adrian, actually, you know, he's the guy. He's our guru behind the scenes with the knowledge, dropping it on us, aka Deacon. Was it? Deacon. So, he be checking off the numbers and stuff. He be giving us like, you know, statistics and things of that nature. Yes. So tonight's topic, A Money.
Well, we're gonna delve into the UNC Charlotte school shooting from yesterday, and we can address that. We want to try to come up with some resolutions, or you know, anybody that dealt with personal matters or individuals that were there at that time, please, you can use this as an outlet to speak out concerns, what have you. What else would y'all add with that?
I mean, I think it's an opportunity too for us to kind of like look at the whole situation. Because, and it was interesting because my queen at home was mentioning it. She said, guns. It seems like everywhere we turn around, somebody's got a gun. And you know, even before this shooting that occurred on UNCC campus, and our hearts and minds and our thoughts and our prayers go to them, is the fact that also the alternative is, you know, every night it seems like, or every other night it seems like there was shooting going on. Right? You know, we lost some lives prior to the UNCC shooting. So, you know, what is going on? What can we do? I mean, you know, the floor is open to anybody who's watching right now, or even amongst us, because at the round table, you know, we speak, we talk, you know, it's the table, so you bring it here, so.
Well, I just think personally that we just got to do better as the people, just as human beings, honestly, getting better with, I hate to sound cliche, but loving ourselves. I feel like it goes back to the things that we learned when we was a child. When we were kids, we learned to treat people how we wanted to be treated, but that's not what's going on anymore. Or is it? Is that how people feel about themselves now? You get what I'm saying? So I feel like if we can get back to the basics of just loving ourselves, I feel like a lot of people don't value their life anymore because we see it. We're starting to get desensitized, if you will, to murder. You know what I mean? If you can get on your social media, me and my husband talk about it all the time. You can look at your phone and the first thing you see is somebody getting killed before your eyes.
Yeah.
So these are kids being able to see, what world are we living in where kids, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds can't even get on YouTube without somebody trying to dress up in some scary stuff, telling them to do something hurtful. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like if we take it back to the days where people would just count, when you used to go to your neighbor and ask for a jar of sugar, you know, those back in the days type of mindset. But I feel like with social media, nowadays, with the easy access to guns, with a president in the United States, you know, of the whole entire world, get an opportunity to say crazy stuff on Twitter. When we're just living in a time where you see Black activists getting shot, getting killed, not by coincidence, it feels like you don't have hope anymore.
Yes.
So we got to get back to love, get back to hope, get back to taking our children to church, not just taking them to church, but teaching them God in our homes, leading by example. My kid, when he see people, I hate it sometimes, he always want to talk to people. He's very, very pleasant, very a people person. And I'm like, dang, you know, I don't want him to be too, it's unfortunate that we live in a time where you don't want your child to be too happy-go-lucky, but at the same time, that's what he sees. He sees me being kind to every single person I encounter. He sees me walking into doctor offices, speaking to people. Right. So that's what he sees. So we just got to be better examples, man, for these kids, and just try to do better. You know what I mean? And like I said, show people God, man. Show people who God is and that God loves you, and you know all of the stuff that we don't talk about no more that we expect church to teach our kids. You know what I mean? But
that's it.
That's well said. That's very well said.
I think that I feel we need to, as society, address mental health. I think we need to take it serious. I think we need to stop trying to put it in a box or give it a status as far as financial status, or give it a color, or give it a gender. I think we need to really address mental health and provide some type of help, some type of support, because I am also a woman of faith and a believer, and I just believe that, you know, I was taught, you know, idle mind is the devil's workshop. And I think a lot of people who have become just burdened with depression and, you know, anxiety, and have all of this dead space, that it is just giving the enemy some total control. You know, what is going through your mind that you take a gun to take people's lives? And even when the young man was apprehended, which is another topic,
Yes.
you know, apprehended, the headline said taken down. No, he was escorted, but we're not going to talk about that. His face was just cool, like it just seemed like he had no clue on what he did. Or no type of remorse, or no type of like cognitive thinking of like, oh, I know I just kind of opened fire on an open campus. So I totally missed the news, and you know, was proud to say I wasn't tuned in or plugged into anything. However, my stomach dropped because I have a young cousin that is currently attending UNCC for the nursing program. And, you know, by the time I got word of it, it was like after 9. So everyone in our family had already texted her, and I texted her. I said, I'm pretty sure everyone's reached out to you. I need to have that from her. And she said, hey, she had, you know, went to her boyfriend's house. And, you know, I was like, you know, okay, good. At least, you know, you don't want to go back to campus. Come to our house even tomorrow, speaking of today, because that's something that you have to deal with. You know, even if you didn't know people who were injured or who was killed, that happened in your house at that time. That's your home. This is children's home.
It's their home
right now. You know, they're away at school. Those who may be 20 blocks from their actual residence of their family, or those who came from out of state, or, you know, so this is something that we really gotta see what we can do to influence these changes, because, you know, as a parent having a child getting ready to go to college, my brothers here have kids who are in college. As a parent, what do you do? How do you do? What do you say to your kids?
Good point.
Before you chime in, looks like Miss Socialite just chimed in as well. What's going on, Marathi? Thank you for joining me on At the Roundtable. Renee said, there's no reason why the shooter at UNCC should have a $700,000 bond period.
Oh my God.
Whoa. Okay, y'all do the math on the percentage of that and get them out.
Wow.
But this is what I'm saying. We living in such a jacked up time. Stuff don't make sense anymore. You got people that's in jail right now for life over something they didn't even do, or something for weed. Yes,
Yeah.
random. I mean, crazy stuff. And then you got people who can go and play God but act like the devil and kill that many people, do that craziness, and then can still even have the option to get out.
Our injustice system, not justice, injustice
Yeah.
system can set bond at $700,000. What is the percentage for bond?
It's crazy.
And who's going to pay that? You know who's going to pay that? It won't come from his parents.
Oh God, no.
There's somebody who's going to pay that for him.
Oh God, yes, yes. There's definitely going to be somebody, but this is why I say that these are the situations that we people are going to talk about this for a little bit, and then by next week they're going to be moving on to something different, and that's the unfortunate part. But then things that don't matter, we can talk about forever. We can make documentaries on anything these days, and but stuff like this that we need to be bringing awareness to, that we need to be talking about. It just don't happen. I mean, it's just crazy.
So at UNCC, you know, it's a beautiful campus. My daughters have been there for several events, things that happen school related from elementary. Love it. We've taken pictures in their botanical garden. It has such a great positive atmosphere.
Yeah.
It has such a, what appears to be such a beautiful, safe,
Yeah.
you know, campus. So what does this mean with the borders of UNCC even reaching out for those who are not familiar, not in our area? That area is called the university area because of that campus.
Yep.
So the neighborhood surrounding it is now been incumbent into the university area, and UNCC is now spreading out its borders with housing and some other departments that have lots that they're building out to. What does this look like for UNCC as far as safety? Our light rail is just now opened up that runs past there for convenience. But now what does this look like? How does this impact the school in their future endeavors, their future projects, future students that are coming, people who are building in that area, people who are living in that area currently? You know, how is this going to matter? Is this going to be people up in arms, and then like 3 more weeks, and get swept under the rug because it has become such a commonplace for us to expect? We don't want that to happen.
We don't.
Indeed. So Terry just commented. We got a lot of people chiming in. Man,
Yeah, a lot of people are
great.
chiming in.
Everybody
Hey, everybody who just joined.
Yeah, thank y'all for joining us. What's going on, Felicia? What's going on, Mama Steele, Ms. Brewer? What's going on? Terry just said this. I don't think guns are the issue. Guns have been a part of the country since the first ship docked here. The issue to me is that we're not teaching and training our children on how to deal with mental and internal issues. No one wants to admit that there's something wrong with them or their child. Yeah. A lot of these people who are committing these crimes are under 25. Children, they haven't lived. Our feelings are said to have no value because we are young, but there are things really bothering us and things that are really wrong.
Well, you know, I really agree with that. I'm sorry, I want to cut you off. No, because I really agree with that. I feel like a lot of it started off, I know I was raised with my grandparents, and y'all know back in the day, it was a thing where it was common for Black families especially to brush stuff up under the rug. Right. You didn't talk about if you was molested somebody in your family. You didn't talk about if there was somebody that was on you. It was certain things you just didn't talk about. You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like, and I hate to go this way, but I just got to be honest. Like, I just feel like we got to erase all of the stuff that we even been like. We got to unprogram some things. You get what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's so common now. I mean, when you think about it, people are being raised differently now. Now you got people who's not even raising their kids. They got their kids staying with cousins and aunties and godmoms and godbrothers. And so you can't even teach your kid anything if they're not even in that same house as you.
And the households aren't the same.
And the households aren't the same. Now you got, and I don't say this in a judgmental way, but okay, so when I was growing up, I was not in a household with my biological parents, but it was not due to them not being together or whatever. But you know, these days now, everybody has a different baby mom or baby dad or something. So a lot of families are now combining, and it's a lot. So how you raise your household may not be how I raise. So you got kids bouncing back and forth from place to place to place. 1 week they're with daddy, one week they're with mama, and both parents got 2 different sets of rules, different people that come in and out their house. It's a lot of things that we got to just unprogram, and we got to be able to sit down with our kids, talk to these people. I'm that girl, man. First of all, I don't even let Carter go anywhere with anybody, but the few people he do go around, Valencia McCoy or either his family or my brother and sister, my grandma told you got to check their butt. You got to check these people. You got to check these kids, because those are the things that people turn around years later because they felt like nobody cared. They felt like something was wrong with them because they didn't have their mom or daddy, because they didn't have this, or so-and-so touched them or whoever. But if we get comfortable with talking about things, then we can just get comfortable with that. That's why I tell everybody these days, get a journal.
Yes.
Get a diary, write your stuff out, get that off your mind, meditate. People think, excuse me, I know I'm a little crazy for all the listeners, but some people think meditating is just for white people. It's not, it's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
You get what I'm saying? It's for everybody. So we gotta sometimes take it back and start breathing. A lot of these people who just hopping up and they shooting, they not thinking. That's why he looking crazy in the face after he done shot those people. He didn't even give himself a moment, because once again, everything is fast paced now. You think about social media. When you see somebody on a plane or somewhere, what you see them doing? If they on social media, they may stop for a second, keep scrolling, stop, keep scrolling, stop, keep scrolling. People shoot somebody and they keep moving.
Yes.
You do something stupid and you just keep moving. So we gotta learn how to slow down. We gotta learn how to listen. We gotta learn how to the basic things that we learned as a child.
I'm gonna touch on that.
Touch on that thing. Touch on that thing.
Momentarily, glad you brought that up. But I want to welcome Johnny at the Cedar Stove.
Johnny, what's going on, man?
Michael Speller. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for joining.
Nakiba, Rory. Appreciate it, sis. We also got Lynn Cranfield again. Thank you, Lynn.
Hey, Miss Lynn.
Paul Bellamy. Paul, as you can see, it's a round table now, but I appreciate you.
Round, Paul.
Yes. Gregory Douglas. Appreciate you joining the podcast, sir. We got Leona Beatty. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, what's going on, Leon?
Brandy G. Sparrow, appreciate you joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Man, boy, they coming in.
Alicia Austin, thank you for joining us. Russell Mitchell, thank you also for joining us.
What's up, man?
CJ Jones, David Green, Nakiba Miller, thank you for all joining us.
Yes.
And we're gonna touch on your comments momentarily.
Yeah.
But I want to make mention of what you just now alluded to, and that's what we were taught. And the basis of that is that there's not a whole lot of teaching going on. And
Come on,
you pretty much touched on that by parents not being in the household.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important that whenever, I think we touched on this a little bit 2 weeks ago, it's important that whenever you see your children acting out, or you receive those calls from school acknowledging that your child is acting out, we tend to go, well, I see a lot of parents tend to go on the defensive about that instead of actually listen to what's being brought to them lovingly to help their child in growth.
Right, this is true.
And if this continues, and I think it has been continuing, when you see that without consequences, you see what these children are growing up to do right now in today's time.
Yeah. Consequences.
Yes.
Your mouth. A lot of people don't realize how there's consequences to the things that you say, to the things that you do, how you present yourself, how you walk around, how you treat the next person around you. There's consequences to what you do out here. Like when people who feel like they can still talk to cops any kind of way.
Yes.
Because they're on Facebook Live. Don't you know you die on Facebook Live? Thinking you can talk to people any kind of way. You gotta be smart. These people, you gotta raise your child to be, or your children to be smart. They gotta think smart. You can't just think about school, oh, you gotta get A's and B's. Nah, you gotta teach these kids these days street smarts. You gotta keep common sense. You gotta teach these kids something different. These are what we're not doing it because the kids, moms, we're getting younger.
Yes.
Every year,
The grandmas
are getting even younger. What happened to the big mamas? What happened to the big ugly grandmas? You know, ain't no big. Come on, but I said to you, my grandma's still fine, honey.
is.
Come on, you think they're all saying. That's why I think God, man. I tell people all the time, you go through certain things in your life and you wonder. Like I wasn't raised by my parents, and however, I learned a lot from my parents. You know, they taught me a lot of things on how to survive. But as I said one time talking to Candace Council, that my grandparents taught me God. They showed me church life. They showed me, they allowed me to use my gifts and different things. And so I said all to say that I got the best of both worlds. Growing up, I didn't feel that way. Growing up, you think it's the end of the world. And that's what a lot of these kids that's killing themselves, that's killing other people, got to remember. Where you are right now was not where you're going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
Have y'all ever been somewhere, you know, when you was in your mid-20s or whatever, you was like, yo, I ain't never finna get out of this. Like, how, God, why me, God? Why, I pray every day, all that stuff. But then you start thinking when you get older, like, God, I'm glad you did pick me to go through all of this. I'm glad you did. So if kids can just learn certain, that's why I want to start doing some mentoring programs. But that's why we all have to start stepping up in our communities and getting into these schools, catching nobody in elementary school, because you don't know. You may be the only voice of reason that these people have.
That's true.
Very good point. Very good
So
point.
anyway, y'all, I'm sorry, I get passionate. I get passionate, honey.
That's why you're on the show.
So Renee just mentioned, she said the bond. She said it's crazy. She said, you know, if he was black, he wouldn't have gotten a bond, period. Then she also knows, from my understanding, he was upset. Now, this is interesting going into what you were mentioning as far as raising a child. He was upset because he was failing the class after he reached out to administrators about the instructor in the class. Administrators pushed it under the rug, he stated. So that's interesting because now the word is getting out as far as what could be the cause. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight as far as cause and effect. What's going on, Joyce? Thank you for joining us. Mark Meeker, thank you, man. We definitely trying. My old boss, he's an amazing individual, wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Mark.
Anyone on our the Instagram, the phone is propped. So if you're chiming in and I'm not replying, it's because I got you going live. I'm not doing any comments, but I appreciate you tuning in on the At the Roundtable's Instagram live page as well.
Amen. Amen.
I'm gonna read a couple of comments on mine
ahead,
too, because I just want to make sure, since it's the People's Podcast, we acknowledge
chiming in. They just flooding in. Y'all had to excuse us. We
Let it rain.
This is home stuff right here. We ain't professional.
Yeah. So Lynn says in the earlier discussion that it's just a sign of the times today as far as the shooting that we said.
Yes,
She said that love lifts up.
Yes.
Paul Bellamy states that the most important thing, we got to get back to God.
Come on now. Yes.
We need more than religion.
Yes.
Come on, because God is love. That's what I was saying. God is love,
And
man.
religion is man-made.
Come on.
All right. Yes.
And that's why I'm sorry. Can I just say something real quick? I'm sorry. Because what you just said was so real. I have conversations a lot because about God and religion and all of this stuff. And I talk to so many people who have gotten away from the church, who don't go to church for whatever reason, whether it was they got pregnant while in church and the church turned their back on them. It could be all different type of reasons why they just don't go to church. But I was having a conversation with somebody and I told them, I was like, you gotta understand who you serve. You don't serve the church, you serve God. You gotta understand the difference. You can't stop going to church because the people, you don't like what the people how they look at you, what they say to you. You're not going for them. So maybe you don't like, maybe the church, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the church can't do nothing for you, but what can you do for the church?
That's right.
What can you do for the church? You get what I'm saying?
The church is what? What's in the middle of the sea?
Come on now. That's why I say God, you got to get to know God for yourself, because at the end of the day, now people want to believe anything that you read off of a meme. Ain't that terrible? You know, people getting their news off of memes, but that was just the fake news. But the real news is knowing God for yourself and knowing that at the end of the day, you can serve whatever God you want to serve as long as you serve somebody. However, you gotta know that God is love. And if you know that God is love, you're gonna wake up every day excited. If you know that God is love, you're gonna treat people kind just off the fact that at the end of the day, you woke up, I woke up, hell, let's be happy. You feel me? Like, that's God's love.
Absolutely.
But definitely the absence of the Lord in households. But I also want to touch on, that we as adults, whatever you may be, whether you're someone in a grocery store, or you have a leadership or administrative role dealing with children, man-childs, adult kids, however you want to classify it, you have a responsibility. You have been, given that privilege, you have been charged to make sure that you're responsible. When a child brings something to you, even if you feel, well, you know what, they might be a little extreme or whatever, you need to take it in consideration.
Yeah.
Do not discount that child's response or that child's questions or inquiry to you, because at the end of the day, you have these type of consequences. You know, who's to say that if that particular professor or, you know, instructor would have just met with him after class.
Exactly.
To say, okay, I know you don't agree, but this is what or why you got what you got.
Yeah.
We can go over this later to see what you could do differently in my opinion to
Yeah.
make it that this could have been prevented.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's good.
So I know what you got. They flooding us. We over here. We trying to get them in. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, it's getting live real quick. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
Lynn piggyback off a comment that you were saying. She said, "You don't go to church for people. You go for the personal relationship with God." And one person I know then said, "I miss Melissa."
Miss you too, Miss Lynn.
All right. So Terry piggybacked on basically the same thing. She said, "I believe we need to get back to God, but we please go back with a purpose."
Come on.
She said,
yes.
"Stop wearing ripped jeans and club clothes. You come to a job interview better than you come to the altar."
Come on now.
So,
yes.
well, hey, hold on, y'all, because now we gotta switch over here, because we talking about that, but then we're also talking about every question. Yeah, we do. We're trying to take every question serious, y'all. Everybody's saying great platform right now. We're reporting what the Charlotte Observer won't touch, much less CMPD. We ain't trying to do that. It just happened. Russell said that he had to be born with common sense, not taught to this young generation.
Facts.
They smart, but don't think about what they say or do.
Because there's no consequence.
That's coming back
they
to
living for
yeah.
they living for the 5 seconds of fame that they get on social media.
You gotta speak, sister.
Not talking about or feeling what it would happen. We weren't allowed to act cool. We weren't allowed to say certain things. I told my kids, the best thing and the most valuable thing that you have is your name and your reputation.
Can you say that again?
The most valuable thing that you have is your name and your reputation.
This is true.
You know, I shared a story with my husband. We're talking about future and planning when our parents getting older.
Yes.
And how when my grandmother died, I couldn't find any of the papers. I didn't know where anything was. But on the strength of a local mortuary and our name and us using them, she allowed me to pay off my grandmother's funeral.
Wow.
Nobody's doing that. And she told me, tell nobody outside here that I did this for you.
Yes.
She allowed me to do that. And it took me almost 4 years, but I did it because she knew our reputation and she knew our name. And she said, I'm gonna trust you that you're gonna do what you said. And guess what? It was important for me to make sure I did that because I didn't want to disappoint anybody and put a stain on my name and our reputation of our family. So at the end of the day, we don't teach our children legacy. We're not teaching our kids. They don't feel they're hollow because we as the adults or as parents or as family members are holding them accountable to a standard because we're not carrying the standard.
Yeah. I mean, and then, it's so crazy when you talk about reputation. It's funny because my sister is live. Hey, Shaka. And shout out to my husband. Hey, boo. Anywho, no, but reputation is so real. That was something my grandma instilled in me and my sister instilled in me growing up. And I used to hate it growing up because I developed quite early as a young girl. Okay, so I look a lot older than a lot of the girls back then, but now bodies have changed anyway. But anywho.
That's another
and that's a whole nother show, okay, for another day. However, I used to do the little back in the day stuff where you used to tie your belt real tight and have the back of your pants pucker up because it made your butt look bigger. I used to do the whole, full face of makeup and hanging out with guys because I felt girls didn't understand the whole shebang and never understanding what their reputation would look like. My grandma used to say, a reputation is easy to get, but it's hard to get rid of. People will forever remember you as that person that done X, Y, and Z. So reputation is serious, but when you are watching television, the words of my daddy, tell a lie in a vision, he always say that when you watch TV, you see girls now talking about being basically gold diggers, being prostitutes, in so many words. So people not thinking about reputation. If you're hearing, no disrespect to the city girls, but let's be real, they disrespect themselves. But if that's the type of stuff that your kid is listening to, and then they don't have no balance, If all you hearing is, shake my tail, let me get some money. If you ain't got no money, then I ain't sleeping with all that stuff. That's reputation. And so I challenge women to do different, be different, instill those things, those values in women. Let people know, reputation is real and it will follow you for the rest. If you a bad kid in school, they're gonna always remember you as the bad kid in school. You the girl with the nasty attitude, honey. You gonna be the girl with the nasty attitude forever.
And nobody's gonna want to deal with you.
Nobody's gonna want to deal with you.
The line, which goes back to having incidents that happen like this. Our children and youth have no consequence, and I don't feel concept of reality and entertainment. You see those shows, you hear the music, my youngest daughter's in the studio with us, she's a dancer. Some of those songs, I'm right with them. I'm like, boom, boom. And I don't mind them listening to it because there's balance.
Balance.
And they know the difference between this is a jam that's entertainment.
Yeah.
And reality. Reality is you're not going to get out here and act like that and talk like that and dress like that and carry yourself like that. This is just for entertainment purposes. There's no one teaching these children that this is a reality versus, fame.
And that's the reason why. So a reality like UNCC happens, people don't know how to react to it. People don't know how to feel, because it's something that I feel like is not only making an impact on that school, it should make an impact for the community in general. For all these schools, people got to start saying like, okay, unfortunately, this is the time we're living in. When I was working in Colorado at my many jobs, honey, okay, I used to hop and go. That's another story. But even the call centers was teaching you how to deal with active shooters. We got it at the schools on a serious level. The schools have to come up. Back in the day, we used to do fire drills. We got to do active shooter drills these days. These schools got to get some metal protectors. Unfortunately, most of the time they got security guards. Security guards got to start checking the cars. We are at a time now where if you are a security guard, if you are somebody in the security arms and you have a duty, you have to fulfill your duty. These days, do an extra check. I know sometimes you may not be getting paid what you want to get paid, so you don't want, I ain't gonna check the glove department. No, these days people's life are at stake. You gotta do your due diligence.
So that's interesting that y'all mentioned that as far as like with the, hey, what's going on, Michael? A lot of people are chiming in. Hold on, y'all. We definitely want to recognize you. Michael Sherwood, what's going on, brother? And this is Taylor. What's going on, sis? Our condolences to you and your family. Lucas Crawford, what's going on, bro? Russell Mitchell just said he did it for 5 minutes of fame. Very
5 minutes of fame.
5 minutes of fame. So, Tawana Anderson, what's going on, sis? Thank you for joining us. G. Hunter, what's going on, man? I'm telling you, this thing is blowing up, and we knew this topic was going to be that way. So, quick question. With all this is being said, and we recognize what just happened at UNCC, I'm going to throw a little curveball in there so we can chime about that while the people are on here, and I want you guys to chime in as well. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Facebook, you're following, of course, our Queen Jazzy, you're following our sister over here as well, Melissa B, aka Pitbull in the Dress. I'm feeling good now. So check this out. We know what just happened at UNCC. Let's flip the script. This just happened at UNCC. Several days ago, there was constant shootings going on within a 24 to 72 hour time span.
Yep.
Three people dead. Okay, we want to talk about guns. We want to talk about the situation with young people not realizing that, they're not infinite, that life is finite. What can we do as adults to kind of curb that? Because, bro, you and I were talking about it. It seems like there's a lot of programs out here right now. There's a lot of organizations. You got CMPD that is perched up over here, and they're saying this, that, and third as far as it's always the young people. And then you got all these organizations that are out here that are saying, we need to, CMPD is not doing their job, blah, 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 blah. We need to educate, this, that, and the third. But nobody's talking. We need action. We need action. I'm tired of people who are for the cause, for the attention. I'm tired of it. I need you to really do what you're supposed to do and get out here in the community, not go to the same 2 streets that's across and around uptown that you might catch a glance or you can do your phone. I need people that's going to come to the communities where this is happening and it be your passion and your real live goal to say, okay, let's happen. You can't sit here and stick to university because you live in university and you happen to hear a gunshot. I need you to go to the different sides of Charlotte, the east side, the west side, and set up
and start talking to these people and saying what's going on. Quit riding the coattails of the noise behind CMPD. For what? Because nothing's going to change with them. You know, they're going around having these discussions in churches. They just did one at my church last month. Okay, that's great. You're showing a presence in the community, but what are you actually doing? So it is some talking. My uncle and my cousin used to say, you could give a parent a job, but he can't do a nickel's worth of work. He can talk, but he can't work.
What?
So you
One more time. One more time.
He
said you give a parent a job, you know, but he can't do a nickel's worth of work. He can talk, but he can't do no work. You know, he can't do nothing. But what he designed to do, that's to copy and then to spit it back out. So, you know, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody.
Yeah.
But let's call what it is, you know, and the adults here at this table right now, you know, we talk about change and the effect of change. I'm a person that I favor guns. I go to the range. I am starting to educate my daughters on guns and handling a gun, you know, and taking them somewhere.
I gotta do that. I've never shot a gun. I've never done either, but I just had a conversation about it.
Yeah, and I encourage all women, if you don't want to carry, you should at least know how to shoot.
See, I just feel like I might be trigger happy. Like I'm paranoid as
you
is.
won't
like,
be trigger happy because you be educated.
Yeah.
And so people who grab guns and get guns, we have to start. I shouldn't be able to order a gun.
That's true.
And get it shipped to my house.
Yeah.
So cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Y'all have been bringing up some good points about I guess the causes to what may lead somebody to doing what we saw yesterday. What would y'all think some of the signs would be to kind of be paying attention for what we should be telling our kids to be looking out for, what teachers should automatically be looking out for?
The same thing is how it was when I was in school. I mean, the kids that are always by themselves, the kids that may not dress the way everybody else dress, the kids who they may get joked on, the kids where you see them at lunch, they're eating by themselves. Those kids, like I was the girl, honey, but I was friends with everybody. Like if you don't look like you want to talk, honey, that's more reason for me to talk to you. Because if something goes down, I want you to know that you have somebody that was kind to you, that was nice to you, for real. But that's what I would tell people. These teachers are, if you're watching, if you're listening, and you have a student that you notice is not like all the rest of the children, you know what I mean? Those are the signs, you know what I mean? You
That teacher used to give that kid attention back in the day when we were in school.
Wow.
You know, back in the day, but I'm probably not a little older than you.
Well, you're still looking real mighty good, honey.
They gave that kid attention.
Yeah.
Because they know they needed it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if what we're getting, and this is just, we're all getting hearsay right now.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't sat down with this young man or heard a recording. But if he truly was triggered or set off by not being able to discuss his status on a project or school, and the teachers swept it under the rug, they didn't want to be bothered.
And teachers do that.
They already knew that they didn't want to be bothered.
They don't want to be bothered.
So they already saw the signs.
Oh yeah, they saw the signs.
They underestimated the consequences.
Absolutely.
But is that like society in general?
I think so.
Because here's the thing, y'all, and again, I got throw curveballs because that's what we do. I mean, the irony is that if they did this, what's going on, Michael? Thank you, appreciate that. Stephen Pope, thank you for joining us. Yeah, way too many kids and middle-aged adults out here being taught to follow the masses and
sheep mentality. Sheep mentality.
So throwing a curveball, it seems like society in general is doing that, in which they don't care.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And it's almost to the point which, and truth be told, sometimes we fall into that category as well, because just think about it. Throw it in there real quick. We can point the finger and we always get upset with recent shootings that may occur, and I think I told you this, in regards to CMPD or any police officer for that matter, but it seemed like Jamal, Ray, Mikael, all these young brothers and stuff, and sisters as well, is either black on black crime that happens so many times. And it's like the norm. It's like there's no emphasis on that. In other words, we're not marching all the time when it comes to a young black man or a young black woman.
Yeah, it's like what she said, you have to unlearn just with the term black on black crime. Yep. That was put out there to hone in on us. We don't have, it's not that we are having black on black crime. It's what they chose to call it. Murder is murder.
Murder is murder.
Right.
When something happened down in Valentine, something happened down in, South Charlotte, something happens from our hometown Pittsburgh out North Hills or South Hills, where you have predominantly middle class or white, it was a dispute.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right. It was a disturbance.
Right.
It was a violent act of crime. There was victims. They automatically start portraying and painting whoever did it or whoever got killed. But when it's us, it's black on black crime, it's violence to the point where you have people who are not of color, comfortable to start opinionating and chiming in on what black on black crime is and how it can be prevented and how it got started and so you start living your life on social media, you can easily get wound up, you can easily start feeling different kinds of ways. We as a community need to be responsible for our own people. We as a community need to step up, quit being little softies, and this charge is for the men and the women who are actual adults. But I do put the weight on our men in our community because you have been targeted to be removed from the homes, to be put in prisons, that those that have remained free. Yeah. Instead of looking at it as a free reign of having a higher ratio of women to men and laying up with them, we need you to stand up and be king.
Wow, yes.
Community. And for the women who are here, we need you to stand up and be queens in the community. And when Lil Ray and shot Lil David Boy, we need to be just as outraged.
Yes, we do.
We need to be just as angry. I'm tired of people wanting to have picket signs and go down to town hall when police is involved. Yes, a police officer should be held to a higher standard due to the matter of his job. But if they don't care about you, it's because you've shown that you don't care about you.
So then again, it goes back to that, and it's interesting, but Mark Nika just drops the knowledge. You're going to appreciate this, man. I got to share this with you as well. He says school shootings, okay, let me go back. Hold on, Mark. Mark dropped knowledge. School shootings have skyrocketed since they became gun-free zones. We receive live ammo and gun safety training in PE. In 6th grade, not everyone wants to own or carry. That is cool, but let a few that aren't prescribed SSRIs and pass a complete background check too, if they want. Police take reports. They never get there on time. Now, just to share something with y'all, Mark, I appreciate you sharing that with me and the masses as well, because Mark is Caucasian. Wow. Mark comes from Texas originally.
Okay, Mark from Texas.
Okay, Mark from Texas.
He's here. What's going on, Ronnie? He's here. He lives here in Charlotte, of course, and then he moved to South Carolina. But Mark has always been the type of person which he and I, we used to interact and drop knowledge. And this is coming from him, in which he's saying that this is the mentality that is going on. So here's the catch-22. So this is the mentality that he's saying that is going on. But then, like you just mentioned, the mentality that is going on amongst our is basically we don't believe that life is finite, and then we just do things reactionary. And Chief Putney, excuse me, now I'm saying Rodney because I wish he was here, and I'm probably get in trouble for saying that. But Chief Putney made mention all the time that the age and the demographic is always African Americans that are within the 21-30 year range that are always creating these issues, and they're actually shouldn't be killing themselves.
They are.
So,
but they're only the demographic and the statistics that have been provided is because we're the only ones that are being surveyed. I don't really care for statistics and demographics, even though I am a numbers girl. But if I look at this table right now, and I'm talking about coasters, and 3 was black and the rest of them were white, and it's a total of 8. If I'm doing all my research, all my statistics on the ones that's black, of course it's going to be skewed. I'm not taking in total account of everyone and everything that's there. You have to be careful. That's why the media and police and different things use different words to describe the same crime. So when it is time for you to do your statistics, and you're gonna say, pull up all the black on black crime. When it's put in black on black crime, that's all you gonna pull up. You're not saying put in gun violence. You're not putting in, oh, let's see how many shootings were between young men between the ages of 18 and 25. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're pulling numbers, you're pulling statistics, give me where it came from.
Hey, I want to also welcome Ronald J. Davis to the podcast. Thank you for joining us. Godson Biddle, my younger brother, appreciate you joining us. We also have, gosh, it's coming up so fast and furious. But let me touch on one thing that Paul said. I think he was referring back to somebody. I think that was you, Jazzy, about having active shooting drills. He said all schools do have active shooting drills. Excuse me, shooter drills. That's unfortunate, though, that that's the time that we live in right now.
I asked my grandparents, my papa, who's almost 80, and I asked him, I said, Papa, did you ever think you'll see the day that the world will be like this? He says that he dropped the grandkids off at school, and where there's you gotta do the buzzer. When you get there, you gotta go do the metal detector. He said he never thought that. And I think that that's another thing too, when it comes to respect and we talk about love, and we talk about history. I feel like another issue is that we're not instilling the things that our ancestors did for us anymore. Like now being black, people try to use it and say they're empowering themselves by saying my black is beautiful or black magic, all of these different things. But the way black people are being treated, the way black people are on an everyday basis, I feel like unless you are black, you don't know what it's like to be black. You know what I'm saying? Or unless you're married to a black husband or a black wife, and it's a different type of fear that you live with anyway outside of active shooters. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I said all that to say is that if we get back to the day where we instill some of the things that these people who fought for us, people who died for us so we can live a better life, and we're using our days, our opportunities to shoot up places or to disregard people who's having an issue, something like that could have been avoided. It should have been avoided. But it also goes to, are these people getting paid? Are these teachers getting paid enough where they care enough to do their job? You get what I'm saying?
I think that they have to get paid. I think the difference is the passion, and I feel like we were raised with the appreciation of boundaries. We may not have liked them, but we knew what they were.
I agree.
We didn't mess with people's homes. We respected the church. You didn't do certain things to children,
to older people.
There's no boundaries.
No boundaries.
So now everything is kind of level playing field, and now you have that sense of entitlement. So you have people who will go and get a gun and do it. I told my kids all the time, guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people.
That's a fact.
Guns ain't never did anything to nobody. If you lay it on this table, it's there. You know?
Yeah.
But if you get somebody unstable to pick it up, it's a wrap.
So I'm gonna lay this question out to you, but before I do, I'd like to welcome Mark Barber, who's joining, Harrietta McDowell, Shanta Sullivan as well. Thank you for joining. So this question is for all of y'all as well. So what's the final resolution? What's the final resolution, fam? As well as y'all out there, as your podcast.
Get involved. Get involved. You gotta get involved. If you Googling how to get some Louis Vuitton shoes cheap, Google a place, a community, a local program that you can get involved with, so you can say to your friends, "Hey, what are we doing? I'm just tired of people just with the lip service. Get involved. You gotta have some action." That's the resolution. I don't think that's gonna bring about change. Is a changing.
I agree with her wholeheartedly. I would simply add, it starts at home. Start with you. You can actually make a difference. Don't think that because you're one person that your voice don't matter, that what you bring to the table and what you bring to this life don't matter. It starts with you. So every person you encounter, treat them good, treat them happy, because you don't know if they just had the mind, if they had intent. I don't know how many people who probably had intentional shooting up somewhere that I didn't have a conversation with them, or you too. You know what I'm saying? So it starts with you. That's what I would use my resolution.
I want to chime in real quick. Martin Luther just said, old angry white man. The government recording statistics as black on white or black on black. Yeah, true. It's divisive. It allows whites to write off BLM with ALM. It's an economic issue. that everyone needs to understand. Data is cool, but correlation using race doesn't mean causation. Good point. We've always constantly said, what is the cause? We talked about this yesterday. Cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
And no one wants to address it. And that's why the many groups that are out here right now, we keep identifying minute pieces, but not true cause and effect.
Band-aids.
Yeah, band-aids over bullet holes. No pun intended. Latosha Parson, thank you for joining us. Sharon Moore, thank you for joining us. Tawana just said, agreed, get involved and stay involved. Yeah, well, sis, this is what we do. You know, Latosha said we plant seeds. We try. We definitely try. If we had another hour, we would be on here talking even more. So we're limited for time right now. This has been amazing.
Yes, it has.
And I definitely want to close. But no, you tell me what were your thoughts, because you've been over here with the paper.
I know he got something.
You got the marker. Marker been rolling.
Marker been rolling.
Let's go.
It's almost piggybacking off what you just got saying, as well as you. And it's always been my motto: keep your hands on your children.
That's it.
That's God.
Be in their lives, be in the business, know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't forget being friends with.
Come on, somebody.
Just said it just now.
Come on. I'm sorry to yell.
Keep your hands on them.
Mm.
That's my thoughts for this season.
I like that. I like that.
Your kids should come to you for peace and comfort, not for friendship.
Come on now. That's real.
She
That's
said it
complete
with her daughter
right
over here, y'all.
She looked like Tashina Arnold's daughter. Have you ever got that, my love? Yeah, she was just like her.
Well, y'all, with that being said, yo, check this out, people. We definitely appreciate you joining. If I had to close with anything in regards to it, because we are at the round table, it is we're all linked, we're all connected. A lot of times we get so caught up in our own individual minutiae of a kingdom that we forget that we are all connected by the Spirit. He has allowed us to be here, to breathe this air, to have the blood flowing through our veins, to allow us to interact with each other and learn from each other, but we forget that. We actually forget that, you know, so many times that we can learn from each other and we can actually gain a foothold.
Yeah.
Instead of always pushing each other down, crab in the barrel mentality. So with that being said, I'm gonna challenge each and every one of y'all to go out and find someone that needs help, find someone that may have been affected by this senseless shooting, find someone who has just lost a loved one due to senseless violence.
Yeah.
And, you know, let them know that they are loved, because I think we've gotten away from that area. We've gotten away from that connection, and it's sad. It is not leaving, as a friend of mine told me, we are not leaving a true foundation or any type of inheritance at this time for our young people. So with that being said, I want to thank our sister, Jazzy B, for joining us.
I enjoyed y'all.
I can follow you.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God, yes. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Jazzy B. That is JAZZYB, the number 4 real. Once again, that's JAZZYB, the number 4 real. On Facebook, Jazzy B, that's capital J, capital B. And on YouTube, that's again Jazzy B, the number 4 real, honey.
Right. Speaking of Instagram, follow us as well.
Yes. And so we need to get our Instagram up.
It is up and it has been running and it has been live. Again, I apologize. I wanted to make sure that we saw the whole table, so I was not banning any comments that came in or anybody who chimed in, but I appreciate your following. And we are at the round table show.
There you go.
At Instagram. At the round table show on our Instagram page, and of course, you know, at the round table on Facebook. And then each one of us have Instagram pages. I am Mahogany Steele on the Instagram for my personal page.
Charlotte in the know.
Charlotte in the know, bro.
And just that guy, you know, Urban T Mag, check us out there.
Urban T Mag.
Urban T Mag. You don't have to go to the Terry one yet, because I'm still working on it. It's in development.
And plugging out the Urban Times Award Show this Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, speak on that real quick.
Yes. Yeah, we're having this show called Urban Times Awards.
Just a little something.
That was
Second year.
fantastic last year.
You know, 100+ people came last year. Don't worry about it.
OMG, yes, it was amazing.
It was pretty cool. it was pretty cool. You know, I'm downplaying it, y'all, because I'm just, you know, to me, it's just something to do in order to give back, because we don't recognize people. We always want to recognize them when they're gone or 6 feet under, instead of recognizing them while they're topside and breath in their lungs.
That's why we gotta start having funerals and not funerals.
Exactly.
Have some fun while they alive. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes.
That sounds
I'm just saying, honey.
So if y'all not busy, Friday night, 7 to 10 at 3148 Freedom Drive at the Freedom Lounge. We're going to start off with a beautiful networking affair, and then we're going to go from that to the meat of the matter, to the award presentation, recognizing 14 individuals that have done amazing things in business, entertainment, music, community. It's just going to be dope. So $10 at the door and $10 at Eventbrite. And if you don't get it right now, I might change my mind, because brother's tired right now. So, but yeah, thank y'all for joining us at the round table. Tune in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we'll be right back again.
Man, I appreciate y'all joining us, the shares, the likes, the comments, and everything. Again, it's your podcast, it's the People Podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Please continue to share and like.
Yes.
All right.
And I would play an outro, but that'd be kind of cool. We'll wait. I was gonna play Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah, listen now, and then I'm little Marvin Gaye honey now.
Oh, we got people waiting. So yo, check us out next 2 weeks. Thank y'all.
Bye.
Love you.